Hey everyone, since my last video about my wood burner, there's been a lot of concerns raised about safety. So I wanted to talk about some of the safety precautions that I use when using my device, and a little bit about how my device works, and if it's still working, show you some examples of me burning some wood with it and show you some things that I've burnt with it. First of all, this is not safe, no matter what. No matter what you do, this is a dangerous thing. If you want to be safe, don't do this. Don't mess with this. Don't buy this. Don't do any of this. People are right. This is a very dangerous hobby, and a lot of people have been killed doing this. And it should be taken seriously. Even though I joke about it, it should be taken seriously. So, with that being said, I'm going to pull out the wood burner. Now, I haven't used this thing in a long time. I haven't even plugged it in. I'm not sure that it's even going to work. But let's get it out here. These are a couple of microwave transformers that I pulled out of some microwaves. This one's, I think, 1800 watts, and this one's 700 watts. They take the electricity from your wall and they step it up to a much higher voltage. About 2000 volts is what they output. So they turn the voltage up and the current down. So that means out of these red wires here is coming 2000 volts. And that is very dangerous. So precautions you need are some high voltage gloves. These things are good for 12,000 volts AC, so more than enough to deal with this. These are lineman's gloves, what electricians use who work on the power lines. They use this. The thing about these is that they usually come with leather gloves to go over to protect them. That's because if you puncture these gloves or they get damaged in any way, they're not going to protect you anymore, and it's sort of like a false sense of security. So you want to probably get leather gloves to cover these. I don't really do anything other than hold these sticks with it, so that's I haven't really got the leather gloves yet, but that's what these are. The other thing that I have protecting me is these PVC pipes. So the high voltage wire goes inside of these pipes and it makes its connection to these alligator clips in here. So I can't actually touch the electricity unless I grab the end of this. These are the dangerous parts. You want to stay as far away from this as possible. That's why these are as long as they are, and I would even consider making them much longer. These are the probes that go onto the end of these alligator clips. These are what actually make contact with the wood that you're burning. Another really important thing to keep in mind is when you're doing this, you're transmitting electricity into the wood via an electrolyte. The electrolyte is wet and it's a liquid and it's flowing all over the place. And that's, if you touch that, you're going to get electrocuted or you're going to get shocked, very badly shocked. So you want to stay away from that at all costs. One thing that you could do is have a little basin, maybe something even deeper than this, and you could put your workpiece in there so that the electrolyte cannot come out of here and get on your feet or anything like that. So another thing I like to do is wear some eye protection. It gets very bright when you're doing this, and you wouldn't want any of this stuff floating into your eye or anything like that. So I have these glasses that are meant to protect your eyes from my high-powered laser, and they do a pretty good job. I feel like they do a really great job. Wow, the sky looks cool with these glasses on. Whoa. Anyway, so there's that. You could also use like a welding hood set to grind, and you would just see the light spots in the arc. I personally haven't tried that yet. I might try that today. And the most important thing, which I'm mentioning last because it's the most important, I don't know how that makes sense, is this. This is what a lot of people are calling a dead man's switch. So all the power that goes into these transformers goes through this foot pedal. This is a normally off switch. So that means that if your foot isn't on this, there's no power going through this machine. So if for some reason you get hit and you get knocked down, the machine's gonna turn off. It's not just gonna keep continuously fry you. So this is, I would say, the most important aspect of of all of the safety precautions is this dead man switch. This allows you to have control at your foot with the whole device, and it allows you to stay away from where the plugs are, where things are being plugged in, where the power's being transmitted. So this thing is very, very important. There's no chance I would even think about operating this. I mean, I have in the past, but I would not think about operating this without this. So that's that. Also, fire extinguisher in case you start a fire. I don't know. People burn down their houses doing this. It's probably good to prepare with the fire extinguisher. There are a lot of trees behind me, but it's been raining a lot. It's probably good. So let's plug this thing in and see if it works. We're back. I have the machine plugged in to the switch. I got my electrolyte solution here, which in a future video I'll go over the different types of electrolyte solution you can use and do tests with them, but for now I got this one, which is sodium bicarbonate. I still have no idea if this is even going to work because a lot of the connections are corroded with rust, and it's been a long time since I used this, so on and so forth. So there's only one way to find out, which is to test it. Spray some of the electrolyte here on the wood. The electrolyte, at least this one, does stain the wood a little bit, or changes the color. I think there's other electrolytes you can use that don't do that. That'll be more in the testing. It is on. Woo! Yes, she still works. Wow. Okay. Cool. Take a little nylon brush and brush that off a little bit. Yeah, that was a little heavy on the burn on that one. Let's connect the other transformer here. I find that I get a little more delicate fractals with this one. The wood that I'm burning here is pine. It's relatively soft, so I think that it burns pretty easily. Right, let's do this one. Let's put the probes down on here. You can put them wherever you want. You can put them close, that the fractals will crawl towards each other. If you have them far away, it'll crawl further. You can see that actually has wow, that is really just burning like crazy. Interesting. Maybe I got too much electrolyte on there. Oh, that's cool. Interesting. So I like to try to get it to find a more difficult path. And see, the electrolyte will burn up. It's still trying to find its way though. And sometimes it just takes a while. Still burning relatively deep, in my opinion. Not exactly the look that I'm going for. So this time let's try a little less electrolyte, just a touch, just a wee bit. And I'll put those electrodes there, and boom. Wow, that's cool. See, that's a little bit more of the look I was hoping for. Just using this nylon brush to brush out the burn marks, or brush out the charcoal out of there, because I don't want to damage the wood, especially this nice soft wood. Now in a future video I'll be testing different types of wood and how they burn, so stay tuned for that. But I think that is a very cool look. Once you sand that down a little bit, get some nice results. We got one more side to this box, so let's just give it a light mist and see what we get here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Maybe not enough electrolyte. Let's try over here. There it goes. Whoa. That is awesome. Wow. Okay. Really liking that one. Very cool. So that's about all I got for you today. I'm going to take a look at this. This is the box that we were burning today. This is the first pass, the second pass, the third pass, and that last pass that we did. I think it turned out pretty good. In the future videos, I'm going to experiment with different electrolytes and see how those burn, and also experiment with different types of wood and see how those burn. So like and subscribe for that content. These are some other things that I've burnt in the past. This is just some birch plywood. I burnt the front of it. It burns a little different than everything else. It's going to be a key rack with little hooks in here. There's some other smaller little key racks that I burnt. If you want to see better photos of these, you can follow me on my Instagram, Fractals. And if you want to see more of the things that I build, you can follow me on carpenterant.tv on Instagram. This is a box that I made out of plywood. I glued the edges of the plywood together to make this sort of edge grain pattern, and I thought that the fractals would burn all over this, and unfortunately that's not what happened. So this is what this looks like. It's kind of interesting how it followed the different densities of wood in between the glue. This is another box that I made out of an old drawer. This has got some very interesting fractals here. I'll take some close-ups of this. This is another drawer that I cut up and made into a little box. This is a larger piece that I did. This is a stool that I made, and I burned the top and did some hand-cut joinery here and just burned all the legs everywhere and used some vinegar to give it this brown color. My friend's puppy chewed it up a little bit. Oh yeah, I just made this out of some junky old 2x4. I think that's about it. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.